In LA, you can get your way through an entire career. Because I think I still saw myself as the soap opera girl who booked her first audition on a fluke. Did you ever feel like a failure? I would end up in the freaking page 6 all the time. It was a cult that I managed to escape. I'm very anxious. Like, I need to talk to someone. I left LA and I never went back. Screen test with Academy Award winner Michael B. MFing Jordan. I always gravitated towards like powerhouse female performances, and I still do. I want to be a serious actress. Absolutely. I'm going to win an Oscar. Yeah. Only time I would regret something is if I did it twice. Do it everything once. If you do it again, you're an idiot.
Today's guest is a force of nature, undeniably magnetic, ridiculously talented, and truly one of a kind. Leven Rambin.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
That's just the first sentence.
No, stop.
You've seen her work. Trust me. Leven's career spans iconic roles from All My Children to The Hunger Games, with standout appearances on Grey's Anatomy, One Tree Hill, Wizards of Waverly Place, the Percy Jackson films, and True Detective. Currently, you can see her latest work as Aubrey on Fire Country.
Audrey.
Did I say Aubrey? Yeah. It says Audrey. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I am nervous. Leven is also a singer, an author, a storyteller who brings heart, grit, and fearless authenticity to everything she does. Now based in Texas, she's stepping into an exciting new chapter. Leven, I'm so thrilled and obviously nervous to have you here.
Thank you. No need to be nervous. Should I get you a glass of wine or champagne?
Oh God, I desperately would love to do this over some wine or beer, but I can't censor myself.
Yeah,
and I have alcohol in my system. So we'll have usually we have the drink after.
Perfect.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Leven, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We have the fruit that you chose.
I requested. This was my snack I requested.
You did, and we'll have to talk more about it.
It's sweet and savory, if you notice.
Oh my God, so many people are so much smarter about all of this than me.
What are some of the other things that people have gotten?
Well, someone did ribs and cornbread, sweet and savory.
That's so intense. Where from around here?
It was from a place around here. Someone else did, what did they say that was sweet and savory? Not pancakes. Oh, it was the syrup, I guess. Pancake bacon with syrup, maple syrup, sweet and savory. Brie cheese and apples.
Okay.
So everyone's been so smart about their choices.
But I'm in LA. This is something I would get like once a week in West Hollywood when I lived here for like 10 years.
It's so good, by the way.
And I just don't, it doesn't hit like this in Texas. The big cup, they chop it so fast.
They do.
On the carts, like I used to have my favorite cart on Fairfax and Melrose by that Wells Fargo.
There's way less carts these days, but
Is there?
Yeah.
I don't know. But where do we like?
Near any hiking trails. So any hiking trails on the weekends. So this one was Fryman Canyon, but any hiking trails on the weekend you can usually find.
They used to be everywhere.
They used to be. They're phenomenal.
Was it a COVID thing?
I think so. Mix of a couple things probably that are going on in LA.
It's just
right
so
now.
LA.
It is. And it's delicious.
So
and I'm so happy. You did yours. Tell me what fruit you got.
This is like pineapple, mango, cucumber. The cucumber is what makes it for me, and you didn't get any.
I didn't. I'm a mango, watermelon, pineapple. I stick. But you got orange.
Orange, mango, cucumber, pineapple, watermelon, and tahini and chamoy, which is that syrupy.
I don't do the chamoy. What is chamoy?
Wuss. It's like a thick, syrupy version of tahini.
Like with sugar, basically.
It's not really sugary. It's more spicy.
Oh, that's why though. I'm a wuss.
Okay.
So you can handle spice.
Oh my God. Why are so many of my friends like this?
I don't know.
Every one of my, like, I go out to eat with my girlfriends like once a week and they can't do any spice, so we can't share anything. Like, I'm like this, pour the sriracha on my literal tongue. I don't care.
What? It's not me.
Jalapeno.
Doesn't your mouth go numb?
No.
Okay,
I can handle it.
That's just a you
Like,
thing.
it's almost like if I eat something that's not spicy, I can't taste anything.
Does this mean I have like we all have super hypersensitive taste buds? I'm putting this on the plate. But because
I think I'm
dull?
just built. Yeah. I think I'm just built different, Danielle. No, but like I think if you eat like spicy from a young age, like it does, you build up a tolerance.
That's true.
Like even yesterday, I did find my spicy tuna crispy rice, and it didn't have jalapeno slices on it, and I asked for jalapeno.
You were so upset.
They figured it out. I was like, I can't eat this without a jalapeno on top.
I will tell you, I take the jalapeno off.
Oh my gosh.
Every single time. And the wasabi, heck no. Okay, speaking of, now let's go back. Where are you born?
Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Same place as Hillary Duff and Beyonce.
I did not know this.
Oh yeah.
What does that give you any sense of pride or joy that you're in the same
that's why I'm sitting here right now. I mean, those girls were, they led the way. I mean, Houston's like a big, small town. I mean, everybody probably says that, but growing up and being like, I want to be an actor, and then seeing Hillary Duff and Beyonce, from your town, and like having the same acting teacher and singing teacher as them, you're like, can I actually do it? Because they did it,
You had the same acting and singing teacher as Hillary
Allegedly. They were probably like full of
Oh, they might have been lying to you. They might have been running a hustle.
I think you were hustling, but
Regardless, it worked.
Regardless, it worked. It worked.
That's amazing. That's a good start.
It gave me the delusion to think that I could actually do that too.
We're all a little delusional.
Exactly. But it works. So thank you. I really want to meet Hillary Duff one of these days and tell her.
I'm shocked you haven't met Hillary Duff.
I know. It's sad. It's really upsetting. I need to meet her and be like, you're the reason. And the reason is you. You know what I mean? I've said it in a million interviews. So
did you know immediately when you were a kid that you wanted to be in film, singing, television, or where did that come from?
I didn't really have the idea till I was like 13, which is still young, but like I just started to get this sense. Like I never really felt like I was into anything in school. I mean, I was a good student, but there was no particular interest. Like in Houston, everyone does oil and gas, and it's just not a lot of people leave there.
Yeah.
I was like, I cannot see that for myself. Even at like a young age, I was like, I got to get out of here.
Was that what you would have gotten into? What would you have gotten into if you hadn't gotten into the film and television world?
I don't think there was another choice.
Got it.
Yeah.
That was the only option.
That was it. Yeah.
Yep.
I felt like I was like meant for something bigger than like staying there. And I had that sense at a young age, which was very like weird because your options are limited at 13. You're like, if you have this anxiety that you're supposed to be doing something else, but you're living in like you're with your parents and you're only 13 years old. It was like the Hillary Duff, Lizzie McGuire movie. And I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. I remember exactly where I was when I saw that movie.
Where were you?
I was in like a hotel room, like a work trip with my dad. And I was like sitting on the floor, like a movie, watching the Lizzie McGuire movie by myself. And I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. And my parents, God bless them, have like always been so supportive and encouraged me to pursue it.
Yeah.
Not in like thinking it would ever, go anywhere probably, but here we are. So it's been 20 years.
What did your dad do that work trip?
He was in commercial real estate.
Okay.
So I think we were like in Dallas, like looking at one of his buildings, and maybe my mom was with him. And I loved movies. I would watch them by myself, and I watched 13 with Evan Rachel Wood. I was like always into darker like material. I don't know. I was like more mature, and watching that performance, I was like, I had zero trauma in my life up to that point, but I was like, I want to do that. Whatever that is, I want to do it.
Did you have trauma after that?
Sure.
We'll talk about that
too.
Oh my
God. Like, where do you think some of these performances came from? I was drawn to that kind of performance. I knew I was not like watching the Disney Channel and like Nickelodeon as much. I was like watching things like that at 13, being like, I want to do that. Sophie's Choice, like with Meryl Streep. And I'm like, that's what I want to do.
It was just in you.
It was just in me. Yeah.
What other movies do you remember?
Watching?
Mm-hmm. Or that even influenced you? Which ones stick with you?
Like Black Swan, Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
I was a little older then. But I always gravitated towards like powerhouse female performances. And I still do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evan Rachel Wood really rocked my world.
It was a huge one. Like 13 was huge if you were of a certain age
I was
or generation.
13 when I watched it. I mean, I was like, this is so inappropriate.
Did your parents know you were watching it?
Like, I was like, the door's closed. Like
I can do whatever I want.
I watched Saturday Night Live a lot growing up.
Oh,
I was like raised on that with like Maya Rudolph, Kristen Wiig. I just had like a weird sense of humor, like a little more mature. I loved growing up. I watched the Anna Nicole Smith show growing up. Like I just watched weird stuff. I watched soap operas.
Which ones?
All My Children with my mom and my grandma.
It's interesting stuff like Lizzie McGuire to 13. To
Julia
SNL.
Roberts in My Best Friend's Wedding. Yes. Like I was like, I want to be that. The leading female that like has like the emotionally complex range. Like that's what I want.
So did you start taking acting classes when you were in Houston?
So I randomly like did the school play at our like small school, and I randomly booked the lead of it because I was like goofing off during the audition. I was a bit of a troublemaker, like class clown. I got the lead role, and I was like, whoa, this is actually like happening. I have to be serious. I have to memorize all these lines. And again, my parents being just so supportive and willing to be experimental, like with their kids, like let us do what we want. Like I'm so, blessed to have been raised that way. Not a lot of parents are as like, open-minded. My mom got me an acting teacher to kind of help me with the role and with the memorization because I was like really nervous to be on stage. And my mom had worked with this woman for like public speaking, and then she is the one that mentored me.
Okay.
Her name is Elise Lester. I talk about her in my book. I've talked about her so much. She mentored me because she was like, I think you have something. And I was like, what? Like, really? And she had been in LA and had been on like Friday Night Lights and a lot of things. And she had connections in LA. And she was like, I think I could like connect you to some agents in LA if you wanted to keep working, keep growing and like improving. And I think you could like do some commercials. And she picked like 2 students of hers that she felt were like, I don't know. She picked us out and was like, I'm going to mentor you, which was like the biggest blessing. And then she introduced me to some agents in LA. And after working with her for probably 5 or 6 months, I went out to LA for pilot season with my mom. My parents allowed me to do that, which is like insane.
How old were you when you did that first pilot season?
I was in 8th grade, so 13.
Okay, so that was
12, 13. Yeah.
So when you booked the play, this was prior. It was the same.
No, it was the same year.
Oh my God, this happened so fast.
Yes. I think the play was like, let's say like in January or December.
Okay.
And then pilot season was like March, you know.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, let's go out for a month or two. And I met with the agents. They wanted to work with me. I booked my first audition.
Which was?
All my children. Yeah.
That's amazing. That was your first audition.
Yeah. That doesn't happen.
It is rare that you
It's
usually
so
walk in the room
rare.
and book the first one.
Well, okay, so I walked in, it was at Disney in Burbank. And so I'm like, I show up with my mom and there's like Mickey Mouse and we're like taking pictures like, oh my God, you know, I mean, it was just such a cool thing. If I never booked anything, I still had, you know, got to do so many cool things. I was so prepared to go back home to Houston and like go back to high school or start high school.
But you booked All My Children.
But I booked All My Children. But like I went and did the audition and they were like, you're really good in the room. And I was like, oh my God, what? And then
You're like, thank you.
months went by and I didn't hear anything from them.
Oh.
Like 2 or 3 months. And so I went on like a million other auditions. And then I was like, well, I guess I didn't get anything. We're going to go back home. So when I was back in Houston, they called me to come screen test with Academy Award winner Michael B. MFing Jordan.
Shut up.
Correct.
Was he on All My Children?
He played my brother. I know. I have worked with multiple Academy Award nominees.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's so freaking cool.
So many amazing actors came from soap operas.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty cool when you I'm in shock right now.
I know. I'm in shock.
He played your brother?
For 4 years.
Good for him though.
Maybe 3.
Like his whole trajectory.
He's just such a lovely person. The last time I saw him, he was like, how's your mom? Like, my mom's like iconic. She's like so sweet. Every time I see any actor, because they remember how sweet, you know?
Yeah. Which is rare in this industry.
I
Because
know.
usually there's stage moms. So
Yeah. So Michael B. Jordan was like, tell Karen I miss her. And I was like, I miss your mom too. He loves his mom. And I love my mom.
What a crazy journey. So you went and screen tested.
Yep. With Michael B.
With Michael B. Jordan, booked it,
Yeah.
and then moved to LA.
Moved to New York. We shot,
we
we
shot
shot in New York. So I lived in New York for 4 years. Me and my mom got, you know, an apartment and we didn't think it was going to be 4 years. They said it was going to be like 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And so we were like, okay, you know, try this out. Da, da, da. But again, my mom like raised me on All My Children. Like that was the only soap opera that my mom and grandma watched.
Yeah.
So we were all like freaking out, you know?
Of course.
Yeah. And so we're like, we're going to
Understandable.
do this. I had a tutor, all that. They just extended the role to like 4 years.
So you were there for
4
you were
years.
17
18.
until you were 18.
Yeah.
You were living in New York.
Uh-huh.
Did your mom have to leave a job or was she?
No.
That's good at least.
Yes.
Okay. But
Yeah.
how did that work with your mom and dad?
I mean, again, we didn't think it was going to be like that full
Got
on. Like so we were like, oh, like 6 months, you know, at a time. And then when I got to be like 16, I was like, Mom, like, I don't need you here. Like you know what I mean? You know how,
yeah.
like,
No,
I
I
don't know if you're like a bad 16 like I was, but I was bad.
I was a bad 16.
Okay. So you get it. Like I was like, Mom, like I work every single day starting at like 7 a.m. and come home at like 7 p.m. You know, you don't like need to be hovering around me. Like my brother's at home, like my dad, you know.
Yeah.
So I ended up having like some guardians, you know, some babysitters. His sister came, you know, so-and-so housekeeper. I mean, seriously, I had like the housekeepers from Houston flying up to stay with, you know, I didn't really want my, like we were in like a studio apartment, you know, I didn't really want my mom like
You wanted your space.
hovering. Yeah.
Especially because it sounded like you were always very mature for your age.
Correct.
So you were like, I really
For better or worse.
need you in
Yeah.
this space.
So she would come back like every once in a while, but
But what was it like going from Houston to New York?
well, like I said, I always felt like I never really fit in Houston. So I felt much more at home in New York.
Okay.
But I did feel like the redneck girl, which I am. So I was like, I always felt like a little bit of like a sore thumb. I'm like the blonde, you know, girl with the Texas accent, like in New York, like on the subway, you know, and like after a while I started getting to like the fashion scene and I went to all the fashion shows and all the fashion parties and all the events and the galas. And like that was such a fun era for me. But I started to hang out with more like New York type of people and still never really quite fit in. But I considered myself like a New Yorker because it's like when I grew up in those years, 14 to 18, I was in New York and that was kind of how I saw myself. So I never even thought I would live in LA, but then I ended up going to LA at 18. And
So
then I went
after-
back to New York.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still have my New York phone number.
Oh my
It's
God, no
deep.
way.
It runs deep. Yeah.
New York lived this entire life. By the way,
Yeah.
though, New York when you're in your like teens, that's pretty crazy. Like what wild and crazy things did you get into?
Oh, you can look them up online, honey.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Your entire
The paper
child-
trail is real.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because this was the generation of, did you have a cell phone at the time?
I had a sidekick.
Yes. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
yeah.
I remember a
But I
sidekick.
also, like looked like I was in my 20s.
Yeah, you
So
looked
I just
older.
got a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? I never actually got caught, but I was doing
But
bad
you're
girl
like, what?
things.
I really need to know. Which ones do you want it to bulge?
So
Because I'm so
I-
intrigued.
okay, so my first ever boyfriend, his name was Drew Tarver.
Okay.
He is now on Running Point with Kate Hudson, and he's like a hilarious comedian, a comedic actor. We were like we were like this. So we were running around New York together. He's great. He's like sweet Southern guy. So my mom loved him. You know, we had so much fun, but we were like going to all the nightclubs, Bungalow 8, Pink Elephant, Beatrice Inn. I went to all of them. I was friends with all the promoters and, you know, I was just like going to, and like I'd go to like some event with like Adrienne Grenier or, you know, and then it started just going from there. And I started getting invited to like all of the parties and, you know, being friends with like the owners of everything. And, you know, it's like, cause I was like an actress, but also like a cute girl. And I was like, they didn't know how old I was. But then they did. And I still was going, you know, like it was a different time.
It was a different time. Listen, I was experiencing the same in LA. So I totally get it. I get it. It feels like it feels so different to hear about it from New York because New York just feels like it probably was wilder and crazier, but maybe it wasn't.
It could have been. I don't think I ever got to that like point. I mean, I was like drinking, you know, like having champagne.
Did you ever get into any drugs? Okay.
No. And like I could have. I could have, you know. It could have been bad.
Oh, it's there. We know.
It could have been bad, but I just don't think I was cut out for that life. You know what I mean? Like, I did have to be up at 7 a.m. most days.
Yeah,
you know?
so you're still working.
I was still working, so it's like I had to keep a lid on it to a degree.
Yeah.
But I would come to work and be like, hello.
Yeah.
I was a
But
little
you were also
over.
a teenager.
Yeah.
So
and
it makes sense. I mean,
so I had fun.
Yeah.
I like I said, I got into the fashion scene, the parties. But it was all like innocent for the most part. I wasn't like doing anything crazy. But I would end up in the freaking page 6 all the time. I was in page all every week.
Like for what?
Just for being out and being with older guys. You know what I mean? Like splashy things.
Yeah.
Being at the clubs, being at the parties with my older boyfriend or what, not Drew, but other people, you know, flirting with so-and-so. It was just like funny. It was rough a little bit, but it was fun. I mean, hey, I lived.
And were your parents ever nervous?
Oh, yeah. Like sweating. I feel bad.
Saw you in page 6, they're like, get back to Houston.
I'd be like, that's a lie.
You just lie? You would just say like that they lied. That's not true. That's not where I was.
Or my parents weren't in town, so they didn't see it.
Oh, that's good.
It was a newspaper.
Back when like the internet didn't run the world. So they didn't have direct access to all those stories.
Like, my mom would be there and I'd be like, hide the paper.
Did you really?
Yeah. So naughty.
No, but it made
sorry, Mom.
It builds character.
And that was like peak New York too. I mean, New York has changed so much, as every place has. But it was like the era of like the Olsen twins and like the Heath Ledger era. It was like I was like in all that. And I'm like, that's just so cool that I was like got to be a part of that era. And like Beatrice Inn before it closed, and now I guess it's reopened, but just such a cool time.
Such a good memory of those times. I feel like I don't remember half the things I did and the places I went to. So I love that you remember
That's where my memories kind of start. It's like I don't really remember my life a lot before that.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird.
How interesting.
My childhood. But it really starts from like 14 when I left.
You don't remember your child, like did you play sports as a
kid? Yeah, I remember that stuff.
Like
but like
those type of
my
things.
brother's like, don't you remember your 9th birthday when you did it? And I'm like, no. I remember my 15th birthday. I could tell you, 16. Like when I moved to New York, I feel like my brain like turned on. Like something in me like woke up. You know what I mean?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't have any like traumatic thing. Maybe the trauma was the New York.
Your brain is remembering it.
Yeah. I don't have room for any other memories because that shit was crazy.
Does anyone tell you any stories from before you were 13? That
yeah. I mean, I know I was a tomboy. I was always a tomboy.
Okay.
I have like snapshots of like milestones and stuff like that. But like as far as like favorite food in 3rd grade, no.
Or your friends,
no
like
idea.
Little friends in elementary school or anything?
I remember that stuff, but just like day-to-day living, I don't. My brother has like a freaking photographic memory, and I feel like he's like, don't you remember we went to skiing? And I'm like, no idea. I grew up with my brother. I wanted to be one of the boys. I was very sporty. I liked singing. I always wanted to be a singer. So that's why that's, very important to me now. Modeling and all of that, and movies and my friends. And I was a troublemaker and had because I was, like I said, I was like raised on SNL, and I had like a very advanced sense of humor. Okay. So I would always get in trouble at school for like making fun of the teachers in like a very like sophisticated way.
Like what? Can you give me an example?
Okay. One example is like, this is like mean too. But my Spanish teacher I don't remember her last name actually, but her name was Lucy.
Yeah. I love that you only know your teacher's first name, which most of us only know.
That's why it's like bad. So and I didn't like her or whatever. We didn't like her, my friends. And so we would sing, like go in a circle around her when she was like walking and like sing the I Love Lucy like theme song.
Poor teacher.
Like taunting them.
Yes.
But if they were mean to us, it was like we were going to taunt them like that.
Yeah.
And then I had another teacher who, his name was Mr. Smithwick. I mean, seriously. And he had like a handlebar mustache, and like he hated my ass and I torture him. Like,
So you were a troublemaker.
yeah. But like, it was like sophisticated to where it was like, I wasn't really going to get caught. I could have denied it. Like, I didn't mean it like that. Or like, it wasn't like I'm like burning people's houses down, but I'm mentally playing games with them because they are to me.
Yeah.
The ones that could like tried to with me, I was like, you don't think can with you back?
Yeah.
Like I can. He was like a history teacher and he had like a closet full of historical costumes or something.
Okay.
And he was, railing on me in front of the class, and I opened the closet and like showed the whole class like his dresses that he had in there for some reason. And I was like, would you rather wear one of these to teach? Maybe you'd be happier. Like it was like that stuff like that.
What did he say?
Oh, detention. Yeah.
So you had a lot of detention.
Yeah.
You kind of wore it as a badge of honor a little bit?
Yeah, because they were messing with me.
Yeah.
They were messing with me.
Well, was it
I don't let people mess with me like that.
Does it sound like a version of messing with you? Is it like they're in power and they like?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was that. They were in power and authority, and I felt like, not that they were jealous. I don't know what it was, but like they singled me out, and like I felt like we're abusing like their power and like in a way, and they saw that I was smart, and like the ones that didn't like me. Ever since then, I'm like, you don't me. I can always make you feel worse,
I feel like you are that person. Like, I wouldn't want to with you. I definitely would not.
Yes, from a young age, I guess that's how I've been.
Hey, listen, it's a good thing to be, especially in this industry, because you need that. You need to kind of walk around.
I think you need that.
I mean, in life would be nice, but definitely in this industry.
Yeah.
So fast forward, you went from New York to LA, or did you go back to Texas after?
I went so I left the show after 4 years at 18. Could have stayed on forever. Okay. But I left. So I was like, I'm
by choice. You were like, I want to do more. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Didn't know what I was gonna do, but I was gonna try, and I had an audition for Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles, which was a show, and I booked it.
Oh my god!
And they flew me to LA, and they like moved me out to LA.
Oh my gosh!
And so that was kind of what brought me to LA in 2008, and I lived like right around here. Like,
and 2008 was when the strike hit. That's crazy.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right.
The industry didn't shut down. It's just a strike.
That's right. But like at that time, soap operas weren't a part of that union, so we didn't shut down. Or there was like some sort of small shutdown, but there was some loophole. But it was like right after that. That's right.
Did you say Sarah Connor Chronicles?
Yeah.
Which role did you book in Sarah Connor Chronicles?
Riley Dawson, his girlfriend.
Oh my god! I tested for the one that Summer Glau got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy.
That's funny.
What a crazy world. I've always been shocked that, speaking of this, though, is that I don't think our paths have ever crossed.
No.
Ever.
Probably because we're too similar looking, and they're like, why would we ever be in the same movie?
I feel like that's the exact opposite reason. Like I've been
that's
in the room
true.
with
That's
every
true.
other blonde-haired, blue-eyed actress in this industry.
I know.
But maybe, because you said you booked that from when you were in New York.
I was in New York, yeah.
So maybe it was just because we were just in different rooms. You were in the New York rooms and I was in the LA
And then
rooms.
I came to LA from like 2008 to 2023.
Did Sarah Connor shoot in
2013.
LA?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you came out to LA, you were shooting that.
Yeah.
That
and
lasted.
I was on there a year. Like
Okay.
it ended after a year, but I was just I went straight to working on that set. So I had no friends like at all. Like
because all your friends are in New York.
Yeah. And I was on set all day for the show. And so I just I didn't make any friends for like a year. It was really rough. Yeah.
So that's not fun.
No.
And it's a very different vibe.
Yeah. And I wasn't like ready for all that.
Did you learn to love LA, or was it just?
Yeah, I did. I ended up like getting into the party scene here too, honey. Like I was like hanging out with the girls on like 90210 and like Paris Hilton and but like again, on the outskirts, because I was like, I know my acting career is like more important to me than all of this. So like I always was able to like be on time and things like that for the most part.
Your work ethic never suffered.
No. Because that was always so important to me.
Yeah. And that's honestly, I think it was impossible to ignore the work, the party scene being out in LA. It's almost impossible, especially if you're of a certain age.
If you have no friends and you're like, your first thing you're going to do is like, try to find friends. And it's like, you fall into the LA trap of things. That was my like dark era where like, I didn't book anything for like 2 years after that.
See? So you took that leap. You left All My Children. You booked the first job.
I know.
And then all of a sudden it comes to a screeching halt.
Scratch, scratch.
I wonder if part of that was because the 2008 writer's strike had happened.
Nope. No, it was just because I like wasn't good. Like,
that's the thing.
I was like, I was only here's any number of reasons it could have happened, but I had only ever been on a soap opera. It's very different acting.
It is.
Than primetime shows or series, on cable or whatever. So I needed to like adjust.
It's also how it's judged. Like if you think about it, so many great actors, we mentioned a couple of them, Michael B. Jordan, Brittany Snow, you all came from soap operas. But I feel like soap operas get judged as not as good.
Right.
When they're great actual boot camps.
Totally.
You have to memorize like same dialogue. You have to be able to be super emotional with crying and anger. It's the extremes of acting.
Yeah.
Which I understand you probably had to pivot a little bit after.
The way I was delivering it, I think I needed, I didn't have a ton of experience, to really be honest. It's like, now I'm out here with all these girls that have been out here, like Ashley Benson and Lucy Hale and Miley and, girls like that have been out here since they were like 10. And I'm like, oh, I can't, like, I don't know. So I had to get a little bit more training and experience. Yeah.
Did you see a different acting coach? Or go to
I
acting
did all the classes and things like that. And then my next job was Grey's Anatomy.
That was the next one?
Yeah.
I love that, I mean, obviously our worlds, they never collided.
I know.
But just the fact that, who'd have thought Grey's Anatomy would still be on the air 22 years later. I just love that you're part of that world.
Me too.
So you booked Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like, I made it.
Did you know the character you were going to play and how long you were going to be on the show for?
Yeah, it was like 6 episodes. I mean, it really was short, but to me, it was everything.
No, 6 episodes is not short. I mean, in the scheme of
at 19,
exactly.
When you're like, this is the hottest show in the world, and you haven't worked in 2 years or 3, like whatever it was, I was like, okay, this is amazing.
No, 6 episodes on a show I think that's huge. Because you get to actually play a character and play out a role. I mean, obviously we all love series regular roles, but that character.
I mean, there was not a lot of like 19-year-old roles at the time, you know what I mean, on Grey's Anatomy. Everyone was older.
Would you also say too, there's an interesting part of being an actress where that transition happens from when you're a child actor to an adult. Yeah. And you're becoming a woman. Mm-hmm. Did you feel like you bumped in on that? Because you said you always looked older.
Yes. Okay. So that's funny because I was always looked older from when I was younger. And they would always say she's too worldly. I'm like, what does that mean? I've never traveled the world. But I just had that mature sense of humor and that sure mind and, was smart and witty and could hold my own with adults. And because everyone on All My Children was older too. So I had to fit in, I had to just get along and be friends with them. And when I was younger and auditioning for like teeny bopper things or things, they'd be like, she looks like she's 21, like, and she's too worldly and mature and it's not giving innocence. You know what I mean? And so that would really frustrate me.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what do you mean?
I'm 16 or I'm 18 or whatever. It was frustrating because like all of those high schooler roles, like I just didn't have that like wide-eyed thing. I was like, honey, I've lived in New York for 4 years. I was 19 when I booked Wizards of Waverly Place. And I thought to myself,
were you playing?
Like 16, 17, 18. Like I definitely looked curvy and like mature on the show, but they hired me, so whatever. But I am going, if it's my dying day, like because it was like the era of like Miley and Demi and the Jonas Brothers. And I just wanted to be a part of that. I was never.
Who wouldn't at that age?
Exactly. And I was like, I have to do this. I have to be on Disney before I get too old. Yeah. That's what I told myself. And then I booked that recurring on Wizards of Waverly Place. And I was like, oh yeah, this isn't for me. I am terrible. It was a fun era for sure. Like I was on the set with Selena Gomez and she was the biggest, thing in the world and the sweetest and the nicest. And it was just like an iconic era. And I'm so happy I got to be a part of it for a short time, but I was there.
And then never did Disney again.
Not a single time.
You're like, I'm out.
I couldn't keep up with it. Like the energy level that they had to have to do the sitcom of it all.
I have the energy.
I don't. So after like 2 takes, I was like, guys, I'm like 19. I'm like,
were you smoking?
No, but I might as well have been.
So after Wizards of Waverly Place, where'd you go from there?
I think I like kind of went straight to the Hunger Games after that. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you have any like upsets or any like, were you with the same agent, same manager? Like, was there any like pivotal stuff that happened at that time, or it was kind of just auditioning and living
I just CSI Miami. At one point I was recurring on like 4 shows at once.
That's a great position.
It was so cool. It was like after that 2 years that I didn't work on Sarah Connor, like I kind of got my life together. I was like not healthy. I was drinking. I didn't understand like fitness. I was like, hair was a mess, skin was a mess, style. Like I had to find myself and I had to find like a healthy routine that like helped me like to thrive. I had to find an acting coach that keep me accountable and have a little more confidence. And I had to like kind of get in shape and I started like running every day. And like I ran like the Beachwood up to the Hollywood sign every day, like 6 miles. I would do it every day. I just needed to become more disciplined and be like, okay, let's click it into gear here. Like this,
you had that drive.
You had to actually compete in this town, and I had to like step it up. So I did. And then I like broke through. And like once I did, I was like, I'm on fire. And I was on 4 shows at once. And it was so cool. And I was just like in a lane. And then I ended up getting Hunger Games.
So did you know what it was?
Yes, absolutely. It was the biggest book in the world.
So you knew it was going to be a huge success.
Yeah.
So were you nervous?
Yeah. But like, that's like much more I was reading the Hunger Games in the dressing room of Wizards of Waverly Place. And like, I couldn't put the book down. And I was like, this is what I want. this is much more my speed. Like, I'm not a comedian. Like I mean, Selena, you know, is like amazingly talented at that. And I'm like, it's just not my thing. So it was like forced. It felt kind of forced for me to be there. But like when I couldn't put the book down. So I was like, I have to be this. I have to be this. Then they started casting and they cast Jennifer. And I was like texting my friend Hunter Parrish and I was like, you have to go out for PETA. Like, I mean, that's how much I was like into this. Like, is there any role that's right for me? Like, I would have like given my firstborn, you know, to be Katniss or whatever. Everyone in the town would have, but Jennifer is obviously like the perfect Katniss. So Glimmer was the only one left. I was like, I don't care. Like,
but you booked it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Were you freaking out?
Oh my God. I'm still freaking out. Like, it's just I wasn't the biggest book person, but when that book came around, I was like obsessed, like message boards. Like, I mean, I was like obsessed. So it was like a dream come true.
Where were the message boards back then?
Online.
Like which ones were they?
I don't remember.
Was it MySpace?
Yeah. Like that. It was like chat rooms,
yeah.
Comment section. I just was like in it. I was on it. It was the biggest thing in the world. And actually my agents at the time were like, you're not the right type like for that. And I was like, I will show you that I am. And so me and my manager actually went around them to get the audition. And then like I fired them when I booked it.
They told you that you weren't right for it?
Mm-hmm. It was like they want someone like really like physical and like younger. And I was like, they just cast Jennifer Lawrence. Like we're the same age, you know?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Interesting why they didn't want you going on it, but then you booked it.
Yeah, there must have been something behind the scenes. You know, I don't know. But yeah, then I booked it and I was like, bye.
And that's the agent you'd had this entire time so far?
No, I've had every agent in the world. I don't give a damn. Like, again, I told you, I leave quick. Like,
so if you don't like someone, you're like, bye.
Gone. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, very quickly.
I do admire that to some extent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love the closure I get because I last in everything too long. We talked about this earlier today.
I have no closure.
But at the same time, like,
just open wounds.
But you don't waste those years.
No.
Which is brilliant. So you did Hunger Games.
Yes.
That lived through all of that.
Yes.
Was that crazy? The premiere, that movie coming out, the success of it.
Coolest thing ever.
And then where do you go from there?
Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. That was really fun. And then I thought to myself, I want to be a serious actress. So
were you not already?
To myself, no. Like, because I think I still saw myself as the soap opera girl who booked her first audition on a fluke. Because when I got back out to LA, I felt like, oh, I'm kind of out of my depth. Like, I don't feel like I really know what I'm doing. But I was able to get by and I got, great coaches and things like that. But after Percy Jackson, I was like, I want to pivot, be a serious actress. And so I went back to New York and studied like theater and acting for 2.5 years.
Where did you study?
I don't want to mention it.
You don't want to mention it? Okay, we're not mentioning it.
But it was a very intense conservatory program.
Got it.
So I kind of like in the middle of my career, like stopped everything and was like, I want to be this like serious, like tortured artist, and did that. And
I'm so shocked you don't want to mention it, but now I'm so intrigued. Because we're not going to talk about it.
It was a cult.
It was a cult.
It was a cult. Yeah. It was a cult that I managed to escape. And, that's all I'm going to say about that.
I'm not going to ask questions.
It's okay.
As much as I want to. But did you at least learn something?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Which is how I was able to pivot to things like True Detective and Gone and like the leads of indie movies that I was able to win awards for. Like I got to do much different kinds of material after that. So now I carry that with me still.
I'm in shock.
Yeah. I mean,
how did you get out of it?
Again, I left. Once I kind of realized that it was like completely toxic, I actually like closed the whole school down. Yeah. I was like, no, this is not right. And I took the whole thing down. I was like, you're not getting away with any of this. Like, I'm going to like burn it down.
Oh my God.
And I did. So it doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't exist anymore, but I think about it all the time. I really do. I think about it all the time because as much trauma as I sustained, I changed my life. I have this training. I was studying like Shakespeare and Clifford Odets and, Stanislavski and Meisner, and reading plays by Arthur Miller and, doing Death of a Salesman and Golden Boy. And I just did like material that was just like, really intense. And it was a gift. Like regardless, it was a gift because I talk to actors now who are like either like kind of just starting or want some advice. And they're like, yeah, I have an acting coach and we do these auditions together. I'm like, do you have a technique, a foundation? They're like, well, and I'm like, well, then you don't know what you're doing. And like, you can coach this audition with your coach, but what happens when you get on set and you have 100 scenes or you're like, you don't know what you're doing. You don't feel confident. And it's not fair to you because you you know deep down you don't know what you're doing. It makes you panic when you get like a new scene. And I've been there, so I know. I would go back to the basics if I were you. And that's my recommendation.
So did you used to have panic attacks and stuff when you were on set?
Yes.
How long did that go on for?
When I was younger, like my teens. And
what was causing the panic attack?
I think like not taking care of myself, not knowing how to manage anxiety, not really feeling as confident as I wanted to, of like, I know what I'm doing. Because acting, it's like there is no right way to do it. Everyone has a different way to do it. You can be in a room with 10 actors and everyone's gone to a different school and one person never went, and it gets done at the end of the day. But if you don't, if you don't feel like you know what you're doing, and it's a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of pressure. And like, I was like, no, I want to know what I'm doing in like a real sense.
Did you feel like you were a little bit of an imposter?
Yeah.
So it was kind of just trying to fight against that.
Like I would look at like Natalie Portman, again, back to these performances and these females like that I've just admired, Chastain and Portman and Scarlett Johansson. And I'd be like, how are they doing that? I want to do that. Right now, I don't know how to do that. I need to go learn. And that's what I did.
And so now you know.
Now I know.
And so did you leave, even though it was a traumatic experience, you left with some stuff that you're happy that you
Absolutely. And like now that I've had, 10 years to process it, it's like, okay, it was an invaluable experience. I don't know if I would have been pushed to the degree that I was, because no one works that hard in LA at acting classes. So I'm glad I went through it, because now everything's like easy.
Do you feel like New York and LA are different in that regard?
100%. You know,
how would you explain that?
In LA, you can get your way through an entire career. You could be like these are my auditions, like you don't have to take a class. Like if you're pretty or your dad is like a producer or like, stroke of luck, like you can pretty much your way through like 30 years of TV or movies if you get lucky or whatever. Or like out here, you can, if you're born here or your parents have money, like you don't have to work hard you don't have to work hard. You could still book a job if you don't work hard. But in New York, it's so expensive to live there, or it is in LA now too, but you have to hustle so hard and want it so bad to even like be able to like live in New York. And you're doing it because you love it, because it's a lot of theater. I wanted to be around those people that like worked hard. I came out to LA and I was like, nobody's like working here. Nobody works hard here. I'm so confused.
Is there definitely a truth to that? I also sometimes have always wondered, is it because the pool of which there are actors is smaller? Like the pool in LA is just everyone comes to Hollywood,
I think that's what it was too.
And in Hollywood, it means when there's thousands of people here wanting to be actors, there's a lot of bad ones. Yeah. And in New York, like you said, it's
much more distilled.
Yeah. It's people
like, that have to be there. Yeah. So I think being around those people was a little more inspiring to me than being around like girls that were like by the pool, like,
at the Roosevelt.
At the Roosevelt, like all day, smoking
trying
weed.
To get spotted by someone.
Yeah. I was like, this doesn't like resonate,
Yeah. You were a true
I had work ethic. I wanted to be.
Yeah. You are a true actor. What did you say? You wanted to be a true actor?
Well, at the time I wanted to be,
But it sounds like it was just in you. I mean, there's some saying, I don't know what it is, but something about like every actor is an actor, regardless if you haven't booked a job. If you were an artist, you were an actor, you wanted to tell stories.
There's nothing else I could have done. Like there was no plan B.
Because sometimes too, I think we get hung up. Do you feel this, that we get hung up on like, I need the award or I need the big project to validate my talent?
Of course. We
both know so many people that are so talented that I'm shocked to this day haven't won Oscars or been a part of like huge projects.
Yeah.
Because I know how talented they are, but it's just, there's an element of luck in this industry that nobody can control as much as some people try.
Yeah. I mean, but then it's like you look at like, for me, it's like I look at the Oscars and it's like Amy Madigan just won her first Oscar at like 70 plus years old. And it's like, okay, everybody has like a chance and a moment. And I believe that for every one of us.
Is that still a goal of yours? Would you love to like win an Oscar?
Absolutely. I'm going to win an Oscar.
Yes.
I almost took one home the other night at the Academy Museum. I'm like, well, I did say I was going to go to the Oscars, but I guess I think this is close.
You're like, I'll take it. Thank you.
Maybe next year.
Oh my gosh. I love that you just put it out there too.
Yeah, I want to win.
You are somebody who goes, this is what I want. I'm going to go after it.
Sure. If I don't get it, okay, but I'll try. I'll go for it.
Taking it back. Now we know. You're like Oscars in the future. It's happening.
Me and Timothée Chalamet.
Just don't say anything bad about the brother, okay?
Oh, I won't.
Going back to where you were. So you went to New York to do this conservatory.
Yep.
After that, where did you go?
After that, I was like I did True Detective. I did an indie called Lost Child that I think is still my favorite project I've ever done.
Why is that?
Because I was the lead and it was like very gritty. It was like my winter's bone moment. You know, it was like the script was amazing, and we shot it in the Appalachians. And it was a woman who was like struggling with PTSD from the war. She was a soldier because her dad has died, and she like inherits his dilapidated cabin, and she's looking for her brother who she hasn't seen in years because he's a drug addict. And then she takes in this child who she sees in the woods, and she takes him in because he's homeless, and she starts to think that he's like a demon because there's lots of like folklore. She kind of rejects, like it's a very like psychologically complex like dynamic, and it's my favorite role I've ever done.
Say the name one more time.
Lost Child.
Lost Child.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. And like I was like, this is gonna blow up, like because it was such a good movie, and then it just didn't, and it was like so heartbreaking.
That's the thing I will say about
it's on Peacock now, by the way.
How many? There you go. Go watch it on Peacock.
Yeah.
There's so many projects that we've been a part of, or people we know have been a part of that for some reason just don't hit, and you watch them, and people are finding them luckily now because
I know.
of
I was like, maybe you never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
It makes a difference.
You never know, so it still could pop off.
Where did you go after that?
I was the lead of my own series called Gone with Danny Pino and Chris Noth.
Where did that air?
It was a European show.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
did you shoot in Europe?
No, we shot in Pittsburgh.
It's still awesome, though.
But it was like a production from France and Germany. It was supposed to be on NBC here, but then it ended up on WGN America.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm so proud of that role too. Like my character was like a sex trafficking survivor as a child, and then she helps the FBI like find people.
So really dark roles. So
really dark roles. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like that 13 role thing that started coming after I did that training. And so I'm really grateful for that.
Do you think a part of those dark roles were harder, or you felt like you really needed to do the training because you're like, I don't have a traumatic upbringing. I have to find a way to tap into this.
Yeah, I didn't have like a way to tap into any of that.
So okay. Because I can understand that. You're kind of like, I want to play these roles, but it feels like
I don't know how.
It feels like you have to be so, traumatized to do it.
Yeah. Or you have to, or be really trained. So that's what I ended up doing. Yeah.
Okay. During these times though, I don't know if you want to go there, but like, did you go through any depressions?
Beyond.
Okay.
Like I'm still in a depression over it.
But it is, I mean,
it's so sad. At like 27, when you're like, this is like, I freaking put my blood, sweat, and tears into this. You're like, this is it. This is my moment. And then it isn't. You're like, what did I just do this for? So I had like a crisis of like identity and faith of like, what's the point?
And did you contemplate leaving?
Yes.
Do you contemplate that frequently, do you think?
Yeah. Well, at that point, because I was like, where do I go from here? Like this was one of the best, these are the two best roles. Like this is what I wanted. This is what I said I wanted, and I did it, and it didn't like pop off in the way that I wanted it to. And I felt really unfulfilled then after by like auditions that like weren't to that caliber. I was like, what's the why am I playing the girlfriend now? Like this doesn't do anything for me. So it was hard to kind of find myself after that and find what I wanted to do. And it was rough. Yeah.
But did you still continue to audition for things?
Around that time, I was like not doing great because I went through a divorce. And
so you got married at this time?
I got married when I was 25. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so around that time I was doing the show is when I got divorced, and I just was like, I should have taken some time to take care of myself and to like heal and set up a new life somewhere. But I didn't. I went straight into working and did that show and then did The Dirt. And then I just kind of crashed and burned. Like I needed some to take time to take care of myself.
What did that look like? What did crashing and burning look like?
Depression, anxiety, panic attacks, not having any sense of direction. I was like, where do I go from here? Questioning everything, not taking care of myself and like physically, toxic, friendships, relationships, just bouncing off of like all of this like trauma, like just causing more trauma to myself and just not feeling like myself anymore. I was like, I'm like a ball of just anxiety and depression, and I want to cry, and I'm angry, and I have unresolved stuff. And it was hard to work with all of that going on inside of me. It was like hard to, audition and feel the desire to do anything. So I was like, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And so I started writing stuff and pitching stuff, and that
like
was
shows and movies.
Mm-hmm. But I was like, this is like too hard.
Were you like that? No, this isn't.
Yeah, I was like, hell no. It's like, I want to, no. Back it up. I don't need to be everything like we were talking about. I was like, I don't need to be, because I was like, maybe I need to create this role for myself. That's really fulfilling again. Because I was auditioning for these roles that like weren't on the same level of like what I had just done. And I was like, maybe I need to write it, mm-hmm. But then it was like, that was such an uphill climb after, pitching it for a year that I was like, okay, forget it. I'm just going to go back to what I know, what I'm good at.
I get it.
And I did The Purge and Mank with David Fincher, and then I was like, I'm done, and I left the industry for like 2.5 years.
Why after Mank was it like, I'm done?
We were talking about like, the depression, like running on fumes. And I just had a few like rock bottom moments of like being so sad that I was like, I need to fix myself. Like this, I can keep working, but for what? Like for what? What do I have to prove? I've already done like so much stuff, and I feel terrible when I wake up and I feel terrible when I go to bed. Like I'm not happy, and this doesn't make me happy anymore either. Like this isn't doing it for me.
So even though you were working, nothing was able to fix
what was I needed to pay attention to, which was like, you have some trauma, you were in a cult, like you have a traumatic divorce, you had some projects like that didn't work out, you left home at 15, like all of this stuff that I had just like pushed down, like came up, and I just needed to go find myself like as a person. So I did that, and I moved back to Texas, and I was able to step away from a lot of, LA and just the things that reminded me, like we were talking about, you stay just in motion here. And I just needed to like stop and just be a person and like go find out who I am outside of acting and be with my family and be things that make me feel grounded and find a foundation. But I was very scared. I quit acting. I fired all my agents and stuff. And I was like, what am I going to do?
Did you go to Houston?
Mm-hmm.
And so did you move in with family to just kind
my
of
parents, and I was like, I guess I'm going to figure out. I was 31.
That
very
had to feel also
so strange.
And did you feel, was there ever a moment where clearly I don't think this at all about you, but I know.
Yeah, where you're a humongous loser?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No, I'm a f***ing loser.
I was like, I don't want you to think that.
No, but you think that, and I do too.
Yeah.
She's like, did you ever feel like a failure?
That's what I was going to ask.
Absolutely. I'm like, what in God's name? How did I end up here? It happens, right? So, but I also felt like, how I left home at 14, like you get to go back home and finish it. Finish what you never got to finish, like with your parents in the same house, in the same roof. There was something like Dickie Roberts that I needed to like, remember that show, that movie with... When you get the movie, you're gonna crack up. Dickie Roberts, former child star, the movie with David Spade. You have to just look it up, because he moves back in with like a family to learn how to be like a kid again, because he was a child star and he never had that experience. So he goes back to.
This is gonna get too real. I feel like it's gonna be way too real.
So I was like, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm coming back around to like have my Dickie Roberts moment where like I need my parents. Like I just want to be with them, feel safe again. Like it's been rough for a long time, and it was so awesome that I got to do that.
It's also at a pivotal time. I mean, turning 30 is usually a pretty big mind as well.
Yeah.
And it felt like it does feel like, did you have this pressure, at least hearing your life kind of in this linear way, this pressure in your 20s? You were like, I need to be successful in my 20s. I need to get married in my 20s. I need to have life figured out. Did you feel that pressure?
Yeah, definitely. I was like, I need to make it in my 20s. And I think that's why I was so depressed when those movies didn't work out. Like everybody in that generation, like by 30, we've all got to be Jennifer Lawrence by that, or like have your Oscar by 30, whatever, like have your baby at 29. Like that was the stupid timeline that they gave us when we were growing up, at least. Like, I don't think this generation has that. That's what I felt. And then it literally all crashed and burned, like could not have been more like thrown away. And I was like, what? Like that was like the American, like 3 minutes, like, oh my gosh, like I'm at my parents' house. It's like, what was that? So I got very like disillusioned by all that. And I was like, I think I need to make my own timeline and like all that. Like that was stupid. And why am I going to feel bad about it? Like, what the hell? Like, this is dumb. I got that perspective. That was like self-imposed, but also society and culture.
And LA.
And LA.
LA is a big part.
I tried so hard to, fit into all that, and it didn't work. So what am I going to be upset about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you went home.
Went home to Houston. Yeah.
How good did it feel though to see your family, to be with them?
Great. But like, again, like still battling, like, what am I doing? What's happening? I just left the industry. What am I going to do?
I was going to say, did you have any idea what you were going to do?
I was like, okay, I was always like really good with my money. So I was like, okay, that's good for me, I guess. But not having like purpose was like rough, but it was COVID. And so,
oh, this timed out with COVID, pandemic time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at least it felt like you were going home to be with your family during a time when the whole world shut down.
Yeah. But I knew deep down, I was like, no, this I'm shutting down. Like I need this. Yeah.
But what's also interesting is at that time, we didn't know what was going to happen with the industry. We didn't know what was going to happen with the world. Correct me because we have to go back to our minds at that time. I almost felt it very freeing because for the first time in my life during the pandemic, I didn't feel the pressure to have to be like, what auditions are going on right now? What do I have to be going on?
But without that, I felt very lost. Yeah. Without that like structure.
I was like, what does it say about me? I was like,
No, I mean, I felt that too, but I started to question like, what is my life outside of all of this? Like, I don't have one really. I don't feel like I have one. Like I live for this.
I get that.
And so I was like, whoa.
There was nothing going on. So
there was nothing going on. So, but I didn't, it made me realize like how much I relied, on that.
Well, it's your sense of identity at some point. I mean, whether you start at 7, 13, or 25, everyone's job to some extent, I think no matter what profession you're in, but if you're really dedicated to it, your job does start to become your identity. And that can be a very slippery slope.
Totally.
Because you realize the job isn't going to last forever. Either you retire or we age out, it feels like, as women.
Yeah.
Which is another pressure put on us as women in this industry, is you feel like once you turn 30, you're kind of decrepit. Like I was
it used to be.
It
It's
used
not
to be.
like
It's
that
completely
anymore.
changed. Thank you, Demi
Thank
Moore,
you, Nicole
and thank
Kidman,
you,
Reese,
Yes,
Amy Madigan, Laura Dern. Thank
Jennifer
you.
Aniston.
We love you,
All-
baby, forever.
all these
We
women
owe
have
them
changed.
so much.
And they've really changed it for us because they've made it very seen that we can all have careers past the age of 30.
Blew it up for us, babe. Like we owe them literally everything.
But how many times when we were in our 20s was it like, no, you don't work? I mean, Desperate Housewives, I don't even remember
That's
this.
true.
Being such a successful show was a pivotal time in the industry because people were like, these women are in their 40s. And it was successful.
It was the hottest thing.
And it was supposed to not be successful because like, everybody's like, what the this show about 40-year-old women is going to be a failure.
Yeah.
But I remember the
I
same
remember.
thing.
I remember.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And,
it was like a huge cultural phenomenon and like
huge.
it broke a lot of barriers too. Yeah.
It was a lot of pressure and it was obviously put on you and it put you in this position. And at the same time, it brought you eventually when
my
you
family.
hit whatever we call it, rock bottom or whatever you felt like
just
you
like
were
a
at,
turning
burnout,
point. Yeah.
turning point. And you were back with your family.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So, okay. So I'm like taking, I took like a year off and I just spent time with my family and I explored some other careers.
like,
I love like aerospace and like futurism and like space technology and like colonize, just the technology that's going on of the advancements and stuff like that. And like in Houston, like the space is like a big industry. I met a guy who worked at Axiom. I was like, I want to work with you in some way, shape or form. Like, I think your company like needs someone like me. Like your guys are a bunch of like dorks, like trying to sell like $60 million like projects in space. And like, I think I should be the one selling that. And
what did they
he was
say?
like, okay. So I ended up going to like a lot
do
of
you
like,
feel like you could sell, what is that saying? You could sell a pen to a, I don't know,
I
like
mean,
you were
but
someone-
here's the thing, Danielle, it turns out I cannot. Okay.
Why? What happened?
I have no skills outside of acting, correct? Okay. Are we catching that? No, but I liked being around people. I wanted to talk and I liked talking to like hyper intelligent people, totally different from actors and like, just, you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted someone to talk to people who were like insanely smart about something that had nothing to do with Hollywood and like just be around them.
Emotions and people. And,
Fuck that. I was so tired of hearing about it. I'm like, I never want to hear about it again. I want to talk about technology that we're building in space and how we're testing like medicines and testing human like skin and cells and DNA on spacecrafts because, of what we were planning to do up there, and the hotels that are being built in space and the space station. And
so you learned a lot.
I learned a lot. It
But
was
you
so
couldn't
interesting.
sell-
I didn't want to. I was like, ugh, it feels icky,
What?
feels icky. Feels a bit icky.
Why did it feel icky?
Because I'm literally trying to sell a $65 million like project to like billionaires. And I was like, I don't think I have the sales expertise for that level. But I kind of just use it as an excuse to be in like really cool rooms.
I was going to say.
Talk to really cool people.
So you got to hang out with a bunch of billionaires and
And
see what that was like.
astronauts and
That has to be a completely different world than
It was.
than the parties of this party scene of New York and LA and the industry.
and it was cool. I could just like blend. No one really knew what I did, and I just they were just like, who's this like pretty girl? Like yeah, They all wanted to talk to me. So I was like, great.
Like, awesome.
I had a pitch deck, I had everything. But again, I just used it as
Do you
an
remember your
excuse to.
pitch
It was like a long pitch deck that they gave me, but I got to talk to just like really fascinating, smart people and be in a different world that I could just lose myself in. And that was really fun. But ultimately, it was like not going to work for me.
So where did you go from there?
I got a couple job offers actually,
Doing-
but they were like at the space startups.
Yep.
I was like, oh my God, how do I go from like lead of this movie or whatever to like project manager at like this space startup, like, and like cold call all day. I was like, I don't know if I'm that into it. Like if I was, I would know. When I got the job offer, I was like, I would know if this is like what I wanted to do.
Like you would have gotten it because
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I can't. I can't. And something kind of called me back to acting, but it was the writer's strike or whatever strike it was, actor's strike.
Yep. And writers. I think we all strike.
Okay.
And everyone striked.
So I that went on for like a year and a half. And then I was getting like calls from like a manager in LA, and he was like, can we represent you? Like, I see you don't have any reps right now. And I was like, I'm not acting anymore. Like, I don't want to. And he was like, please, like they begged me for like months. And my therapist was like, you need to go ahead and do that. Like you gotta get some going here, Bob. Even if it's not right, perfect, like right. Like I became very obsessed with making the right choices after that, because I had felt like all my choices had like led me to like they were wrong, like in my, my 20s, and very important life decisions.
Like what?
Like, who do you marry? Like things like that. Like, where do you live? Like, they were wrong. They turned out so bad, right? I just felt very afraid to make another move in any direction, because I was like, I don't want to mess my life up again. Like this, I've had to rebuild something that like got burned down. And I just became very paralyzed with fear about my next step. Like, it has to be right, or else I'm going to be in hell again. My therapist was like, you need to like take one step like in a direction, and it'll, if it's wrong, you'll know you're gonna be okay. Like we're not gonna like go, you'll listen to yourself more this time. And if you know it's wrong, then you won't do it. So I like reluctantly agreed to get back with the manager, and they started sending me on auditions like right away. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this.
Did you miss it? Like that first self-tape where you like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. But I wasn't sold that I would really come back. And then after like a few months and I was like, yeah, I'm back. I'm back. And I feel a lot better. I had, taken some time to myself, and I was ready to come back in like a different way. And I was still in Texas. And then I decided to move to Austin.
And what brought you to Austin? You just wanted to be in more like a different hub?
I just felt like I didn't want to go back to LA. I'm in Houston for a couple of years, and I'm like, okay, I'm like 31 or 32. I need to either get an apartment here, or I was going to Nashville a lot, maybe move to Nashville. But I was like, I don't want to go back to LA. Like, I think I'm done. I'm at the age where it's like, I want to settle down.
Did you not feel like you settled down the first time?
No, that wasn't real.
Okay.
No, you can't make that kind of decision at 25. And I think it was like a little bit not as genuine as I wanted it to be. And I wanted something very genuine now. It was like, I'm ready to meet someone or whatever. And it had been, I'd been single for like 7 years or something like that.
You hadn't dated anyone?
No, I dated, but just nothing serious. No.
I was like, damn.
No, yeah. God, I probably should have stayed in my put for 7 years. But I started visiting Austin, and I was like, you know what? Again, back to that thing I was telling you, like, even if it's not perfect, it's not forever, I gotta move forward, and I gotta take a risk, make a decision. So I decided I was gonna give Austin a try, and it seemed like a best of both worlds situation, and I could get, still be acting and be around some people like that. And it worked out. I met my husband. We live together on a ranch now.
In Austin.
Oh
my gosh.
Yeah.
I have so many questions. How did you meet your husband?
On Bumble. I talk about this openly. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So funny.
You guys matched? I don't know how that one works.
Okay. Yeah. We matched, and I met a lot of people on there. I loved the apps. Like I had good experiences, bad. I just got to meet so many interesting people, and we matched, and he got me my humor like right away, and I knew what I wanted, and it was like, done. Like I had been single for so long, I knew exactly what I wanted.
And you've done the work, it sounds like.
I had done the work, yeah. And I was 33, and I was like, yeah, I know I want to get married. I want to have kids. And he was on the same page, and yeah.
When you were going through that really tough time and moved back to Houston, you said you got into therapy?
Yeah.
And were you doing therapy in LA as well?
No.
So once you got to Houston, you were able to start.
Yeah, I was able to take some. Yeah, I'm very anxious. Like I need to talk to someone.
And are you a huge advocate of therapy?
Very much. Like I feel like I have spent like millions of dollars on it at this point. Like I've been to every therapist of every like iteration and special subspecialty. Like I could be a therapist at this point. My husband jokes about it all the time. He's like,
listen, I'm a huge advocate of therapy and every version of it as well. And I think it's so
in there, the trauma, the anxiety, the OCD, the depression. Like I've been through the relationship. Like I've been through all of it.
Do you feel like you're able to mend a lot of those things that you said you kind of pushed down?
Yes.
Being a kid,
all of it.
New York,
accepted
marriage,
it. Yep.
Okay.
Processed it. We're good.
Do you look back at those years though and still feel like a failure?
No, not at all. I'm like, this is just the beginning. I was so upset. I thought it was the end of something, but it's like I zoom out now, and I can see the big picture, and I can see my whole life, and it doesn't stop at any one point. And all of that was to get me to who I am today and now. I'm like, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be where I am with the priorities and the values that I have. So I'm like, I'm great. I'm glad I went through it. I can handle it,
So is Austin's officially home?
Austin's home.
No more LA, no more New York.
No, I'm done. It's crazy. I mean, I've been in Austin for 3 years now. I just left. Like, I like it. I left LA and I never went back. So this is only the second time I've been back in LA since I left during COVID. And I didn't know that my life was going to unfold this way, but here we are. And I'm very, very happy. It feels like I'm back to my roots and very authentically me there. And I have a peace that I've never felt in Austin, in LA or New York. And I think that's a sign that you're on the right track, that level of peace.
Wow. That's beautifully put too.
That's how I know that I'm like where I'm supposed to be.
And looking back on life as a whole,
yeah.
Is there anything you would have done differently or any regrets you have?
I don't believe in regrets. I really don't. I mean, the only time I would regret something is if I did it twice.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Do it everything once. If you do it again, you're an idiot. Learn. One thing I can say about myself is I learned from my mistakes. Did it once. And I'm someone that is going to go all in on life. And I'm going to make some bad decisions or choose the wrong thing or whatever, but I'm not going to say that I didn't do something at the end of it. I'm not a cautious person.
It's great to hear too. And it's great to see that you've gone through this journey, but also you're you said, you're just beginning.
Yeah. Cause it's wow, this version of me is so much better even than the one that I was when I thought I was the at 21. This is the version that's very stable and solid. And this version can hold a lot more than that version could have.
Hold in what sense?
Success or spotlight or responsibility or all of that. I could never have, I wouldn't have been able to handle that.
Do you feel for the younger version of yourself?
Yeah. Not pity, but I feel damn, you really had to feel your way through life and you were making decisions that were from a very unhealed version of yourself. And now you would literally never make that or even be in the same room as those kinds of people. But, I'm glad you did it because you had to learn hard.
So you're proud of the person you are today?
Yeah, very.
Where do you see yourself going from here in 5, 10, 50 years?
I'm at a point, I was with my friend last night at dinner where it's I'm so fine with whatever happens. I don't care. I'm not going to control anything anymore. I have goals, but I had a lot of goals and visions then too. And they work and they don't. And sometimes it's not even what's best for you. So I know what I would like. I would love to keep having a very successful and fulfilling career, but I don't care as much anymore. And I want a beautiful family and I just want to feel happy when I go to sleep at night. And if that means that I have tons of acting jobs or not, I don't know, but I'm not going to try to control it anymore. I'm just going to keep showing up when I get the chance. And if it happens, it happens. And I'd like it to, but if it doesn't, it's okay.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
What are some of those goals just so we can put them out? I know one's an Oscar.
I've always loved singing. That was actually my first passion. Getting to sing on Fire Country was awesome. I didn't even know that was part of the role when I got it.
Was it part of the role?
Yeah. Yes.
I thought they did that for you.
No.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know that they knew I could sing.
Oh, wow.
I was oh my gosh, this is the marriage of what I love. Let's go back to Lizzie McGuire movie. I mean, it's literally all coming back to that.
Yeah.
So made an album during COVID in Nashville.
Oh, that's why you were going back and forth to Nashville.
Yeah. And my cousins are there and they're musicians. And
okay, so when you were, just to give some context, when you were in Houston and went back to your parents, you were I'm going to tap into my singing.
Yes. Okay. This is my moment. This is my time. I need to take this to stop and give myself, do this. No one's going to do it for you. So I did it. I did a 5-song EP. It was freaking awesome. And did some music videos and damn, I really love this, but it's really hard to get that to be successful. But I was I don't even care. I love it so much that I'm going to do it anyway. So after Fire Country, I was I need to make an album. This is what I love to do too. And I'm going to make a country album. So that's what I did.
Has it been released?
No, it hasn't been released. It will be coming out soon. I got to sing, country on the show and I was this really fits me. And this is where I'm at and this is it. So I wrote a whole album and I'm finishing recording it in Austin this month and it will be out this year.
Are you working with any specific producer?
Just Austin people.
Okay. Some locals.
Yeah.
And did you write everything yourself?
I wrote everything myself. Wow. with like a partner that I use in Nashville, who's like a dear friend, family friend. Like a few of the songs I wrote just myself, and then with him, and I just love it. I love my album.
Do you play? I don't
guitar? Play any instruments.
Okay.
No,
I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if you play guitar.
No, I just write and do all the melodies, and
your voice is your instrument.
My voice, and I'd love to play something, but it's like I don't think that's my path. Like it's just not my path. I'm not passionate about it, and other people are amazing at it, and I'm not probably one of them. So I'd love to hire you if you're amazing, and I love working with people and directing the instruments and producing the music. But I'm not going to be probably doing that.
Do you know what the album's going to be called?
Roots Don't Die.
Roots Don't Die. I love that.
It's all about this journey that we talked about of like coming back to my roots. And Texas has produced a version of me that I just don't. It's like when you click into who you really are and who you're really supposed to be. I didn't think I was going to be ever living in Texas again. You know, as an actor, you're like that. I'm there, and I'm so authentic there, and I'm like just so happy. And so it's about like how your roots like pull you back, whether you like it or not. Sometimes.
That's pretty beautiful. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
And you have an amazing voice.
Thank you.
A backstory, which I don't know if we even talked about, was just that we finally, our paths crossed when I was shadowing Bill Purple
on Fire
Country.
I know. And I was like, oh my gosh, everyone says we look alike.
And I was like, well, because Danielle Pearson's.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
First you had said, oh, do you know Danielle? And I was like, yeah, how do you know Danielle? Obviously, she'd done both of our makeup.
And she's told me, oh, you look so much like my client.
So it was kind of this crazy little moment.
Yeah.
And
then you're friends with Christy Carlson Romano.
I am.
Yeah. Who's a good friend of mine in Austin.
It's this crazy kind of world of like everyone kind of knows everyone, even though.
And then we were both on Grey's.
Was Christy on Grace?
No, you and me.
Oh, I was on Grace. Yes. Thought Christy was on Grace. I was like, all of us were on Grace.
I know, just
yes,
you and me.
we're both on Grace. It's crazy to me that our lives and our careers have not crossed paths sooner.
I know.
But I'm so grateful they did when they did.
Me
because
too.
You are an absolute force. And I met you on set. I was
you
like,
too.
oh my God, this one's amazing. And you're so talented.
Oh my God, thank you.
And I was there for the episode when you sang.
Oh, that's
so I got to see it all.
Oh wow, I loved having you there.
I mean,
you were so fun.
Hid in the shadows.
No, you were awesome. I was like, why isn't she coming back? Why can't you write her on the show? Can we have her here? I need a friend.
I had a blast with you. It was a very good time. I'm very excited for what your future holds.
You too.
It's been a joy to get to know you.
Yes.
I want to make sure, did we cover everything? I think
everything.
All the things. Oh, I do my rapid now. I've had such a great conversation. I forgot we have a rapid round.
Oh my God, yes. I love the idea of that. What are the rapid questions? Oh my gosh.
So as you know, the show is called Sweet and Savory.
It's so cute.
So I take a little rapid round quiz that tests whether or not you are sweet or savory.
Oh, okay.
I obviously am going to ask you what you think you are as well.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be the last question, so you can start thinking about it now if you think you're sweet or savory.
Like as a person or what I like my food?
It's however you want to interpret it. As a person. As a person, is the questions are more about you as a person.
I think is salty on there.
You sound like my friend who was like, sour. And I was like,
spicy?
I don't have a quiz for sour. I'm sorry. And thank you for choosing this because I needed this in my life. I had missed these fruit bowls so much. There's such a great part of LA, and you're right. Like you don't get them anywhere else.
I don't get this in Austin, so I had to have it while I was here.
I'm shocked you don't get them in Austin though, because I feel
it's not the culture.
I love that we have these.
This is
really
like the
nice
Hispanic
forks.
Mexican. No, it doesn't taste the same. No. And it definitely doesn't taste the same on the plate. I was like, you got to keep it in the cup.
I actually agree. All the juice,
all the juice goes everywhere.
The second I did it, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Okay.
It's the cup and the plastic fork that makes it.
We're going to ask some rapid round questions. Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Text first or wait to be texted?
Wait to be texted.
Romance or respect?
Romance.
Planned or spontaneous?
Planned.
Comfort food or fine dining?
Comfort food.
Forgive fast or never forget?
Never forget.
Talk it out or walk it off?
Talk it out.
Soft life or boss life?
Soft life.
Beach vacation or city escape?
Beach.
Homemade meal or 5-star restaurant?
Homemade.
You cry in private or in public?
Public. I love seeing people cry.
Really?
Yeah. Makes me feel like I'm a part of the world.
Really?
Like people cry and they're crying in the airport all the time.
Do you go up to them and like,
no.
You just are like, yeah.
Well, I'm just like, we're all human. I respect that you're crying and you're crashing out in public.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that about you.
I've never looked at it that way.
It makes me feel like we're all part of the same experience.
Yeah. Well, there's much more similarities than there are differences between all
There's no like, when people are crying on the subway or on the street in the airport, I'm like.
That does sound very New York of you though. I'm totally going off track.
Sorry, rapid.
Sorry. You cry in private or in public?
Public.
We already said this, sorry. Lover girl or independent queen?
Lover girl.
Sweet revenge or silent success?
Both.
I would love to be able to do that, but you have to choose one.
Oh, okay. Revenge. No, success.
Slow burn or instant spark?
Slow burn.
Stay loyal or match energy?
Match energy.
Glass half full or half empty?
Empty.
Chase the dream or chase the bag?
Bag first, then dream.
But bag first.
Bag.
Subtle flex or loud win?
Subtle flex.
Intuition or logic?
Intuition.
Be chosen or do the choosing?
Do the choosing.
Chocolate or chips?
Chips.
Wine or tequila?
Tequila.
He plans the date or you plan the date?
He plans it.
Apology or changed behavior?
And behavior.
Soft launch or hard launch?
Hard launch.
Prada or Nike?
Prada.
Journal your feelings or vent to friends?
Vent.
Be adored or be respected?
Respected.
Peace or passion?
Peace.
Sweet or savory?
Savory. I loved it.
You are savory.
I am. Did you write this test?
Yeah.
How cute are you?
It was a lot of... Listen,
You're so sweet.
as we've talked...
I could already tell she's sweet, by the way.
I've said this over and over and over. I admire you so much because you take on life with so much unapologetic, this is who I am, take it or leave.
Worse, yeah.
It is so refreshing.
Thank you.
I just have to say, like, I really admire it and I really just respect the out of you.
Well, I respect the out of you too. We need sweet people in this world. Can you imagine if everyone was like me?
You're not an that's the thing. You're not an
I respect people like you because I'm like, I wish I had some of those softer qualities, you know? Sometimes I feel like, again, glass half empty. Like sometimes I feel like that. And I'm like, I wish I had a little bit more of that like innocent thing going on.
How do you see, I was interested by that answer though. Why do you think you see that? Because I feel like talking to you, you're someone who's like, I want to win an Oscar and I want to do that project I love. And I want to, so it's interesting. In which ways do you think
I think
you see
I see
half
it
empty?
as half empty because I'm like, I know what I'm up against. I try to not like be realistic. It doesn't scare me that it's half empty. I said, I think I should say, like, I'm like, oh, that's half empty. That's okay. Like I can handle that. You know, because I'm not going in going, oh, like, yeah, it's going to be great. I'm like, hey, it might not be, and I'll be fine. I'll be all right. So that's why I said half empty was because I'm like, I think I do see things like that. But I'm not like intimidated by it.
Do you go into every audition going, I'm probably not going to get it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not getting it.
And then you're just like,
if I do, hey, great.
Got it.
Well, yeah. But like, if I know I'm going to get it, then I know. But like 99% of the time, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get this, but that's okay. But it's okay. You know?
Do you feel like you're right about those? Have you ever been wrong? Or is this like,
yeah, I have been wrong.
Okay.
I have been wrong.
So it's a little self-protecting.
I have been wrong for sure. Yeah. Like, yeah. That's funny that you say that. Yeah.
Anyways, I was just curious about that too. Cause I'm like, how do you see it as, but then do you
Maybe I do. Maybe you're calling me out and I do see it as half full. I'm not giving myself enough credit.
Do you get yourself really like wrapped up in audition though? You're like, I need to read the script. I need to know about who's the director and who's the producer. You just read the sides,
used to
walk away.
Yeah. I just read the sides sometimes.
What'd you say?
No, if I care, then I'll put them in a little bit more into it. But I used to be really crazy about all that. But now I'm like, I can't control it anyway. Like I'm either right for it or I'm not. And I'm not going to like stress out about it that much. Like I'm going to do my best, especially if I want it. I don't want things a lot though. That's what makes me sad.
How do you know if you want it or not? That's the part I struggle with. I feel like every audition I'm like, I want it.
You don't want it.
I know.
You want to be chosen.
Yes.
Yeah, which is not, you don't
care about being chosen anymore.
Mm-mm. Those roles that I felt alive in, very alive and like stretched and like very utilized every part of me. Like I'm not shrinking or, you know, being like fifth banana to some, you know, I don't know, like something where I'm totally fulfilled. And I'm like that, I want that feeling. And if I see a script or an audition and I feel that, then I will fight for it. But I don't want to be chosen for every little thing. I don't care.
You are inspiring me.
We could talk more about it later.
I'm going to be saying no to a lot more projects.
Yeah, do it.
Leven, this has been an absolute gift. So excited for what your future holds. I'm so excited for you to win that Oscar. I can't wait to hear your acceptance speech.
Thank you.
It's, as I said, a gift that I've gotten to know you. And thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Same. I feel the same. And thank you for having me. Congrats on your podcast. It's so great.